So what happens when a senior can no longer stay safely in their home and their house is their only asset? For families who don't have savings or extra income, what real options exist and how do you help them navigate something that's overwhelming?
So when an older adult really only has their home as their financial investment, if you will, then that ends up being property that has to be sold if they now need to transition out of that house. You know, if they're no longer independent, if they have dementia, if they have mobility issues where they're confined to either a walker or a wheelchair, or just simply can't, navigate steps, and the house is their only financial asset, then that house needs to be sold. And so the process, is a little daunting, and I have had families, adult children, navigate this on their own. However, most people engage an attorney, an estate and elder law attorney, to help, kind of navigate and get them and their loved one, headed down the right path. So what happens is the house will need to be sold, and all of the proceeds from the sale of the house will go to pay for that older adult's care. So whether it's an assisted living or it's a long-term care facility like a nursing home, that money will get involved with what we call spend down. They will spend down that money because they are working towards applying for Medicaid and increasing their Medicaid eligibility. And in New Jersey, in order to qualify for Medicaid, the older adult savings and assets, financial assets, need to get below $2,000. And then that's the trigger to flip the switch for somebody to then, qualify for Medicaid, assuming all the other components and pieces are in place. But what do I do to help them navigate this? I bring in a lot of resources. I'm not an attorney. I don't even play one on TV. I rely on my relationships with other, estate and elder law attorneys in South Jersey to help my clients, kind of get through that process, if you will. So again, a lot of hand-holding, a lot of managing expectations, a lot of coaching through the process. There's a lot of caveats to who will and will not accept somebody under what we classify as Medicaid pending. A lot of the assisted living communities want 24 months worth of private pay funds in order for an older adult to move into the community. However, there are some communities that will take 16 months or 18 months worth of private pay. It's really clunky to navigate, and that's why I tell people, don't look at me as just a real estate agent. Look at me as someone who is going to help you navigate the entire process from start to finish, because there's a lot that you need to know, or you need to hire someone who knows it or knows the right people to put on your team.